Hi everyone, I'm out on another beautiful day for our second video of Mrs. Osborne's music virtual classroom. So today I am going to continue with homemade instruments. Last video, if you watched it, was to do with things in the kitchen and creating percussion sounds. Today we're going to branch off as we continue about with the orchestra. The orchestra has four main families, but today we're going to just focus on percussion again, and strings and winds, and find things in the house that you can create your own orchestra. So beginning with continuing with our percussion like we did last time, but this time actually making your own instruments with things you have in the house, not in your kitchen necessarily. So we're going to begin with some shakers, and also today's music lesson will also be connected a little with science as you use different things, items, to compare how sounds vary depending on what you use. So let's begin with some shakers. First of all, you could take a toilet paper. Everyone has toilet paper in their house. And so you could start collecting and make your own shakers. All you have to do is I have made one here. This is very simple as I don't have a lot of things in my house at the moment. So you can design your toilet paper roll by using felts to draw pictures. I've got music notes, flowers, hearts, whatever you enjoy, or you can even paint it. If you have some fancy paper, you can wrap it with fancy paper, and make sure then before you close it up, of course, put one end closed up and then fill it. And there's all different things you can fill it with. So that's why we're going to compare the different sounds depending, and it'll vary depending on how much I've filled it up and with what I've filled it up. So let's begin with this first one. This has lentils in it. So listen to the sound of lentils being shaken. Second one. This one is a paper towel roll. So you can do two things with this one. You can make it kind of like a rain stick, a little bit. And this one, if you listen carefully, is filled with rice. Now, a third type of shaker I've designed is just with a paper plate. You take a paper plate, and I folded it in half. Again, designed it with music notes, hearts. And this one I filled with some mini popsicle sticks. Listen to the sound of that. It's got a lower sound. Then look at another type of shaker done again with Easter eggs. You might have some Easter eggs lying around since Easter just happened. And then you take two plastic spoons, put it between, and then tape it up so it doesn't fall out. And here you've got a shaker with a handle. Here I have two of them. And so those are some of the shakers you can make. Now I want you to listen to the sounds of other things in a shaker. Listen to that one. That one's got a louder, kind of lower sound. That one has jelly beans. Yum. I might eat those after. This one, a little bit quieter. I wonder what this one has. If you look closely, I've put some googly eyes in it. So this one is actually, and these ones you can open easily and refill, has googly eyes. And then a third one here. Any guesses what that one might have? I have paper clips. So you can see every shaker has a different sound. So experiment and see which sound you like the most. All different sounds. Okay? And also you could use little rocks. There's so many things. So hope you enjoyed that first activity. For more percussion from your house, you can find all kinds of different containers. And so you could see I've just got 3 as a sample here, but again, you can experiment for different sound qualities. So you can get, this is a bucket, nice big one. And if you had several of them, you could make a whole bucket drumming, as we might call it. So, and for hitting with, there's 2 different ways we're going to experiment again to show the difference in sound. So these are metal straws, and these are chopsticks. Let's listen to the difference. So here's the bucket. Here is just a empty plastic container. And this one is a tin at the top, aluminum or metal sound. So if you put it all together, you can, and with the chopsticks, what's the sound? If you wanted a different sound. And you can also experiment by hitting the sides. And that's the drum sounds. Now for something fun. We are going to talk about wind. You can use these bottles, as you can see. I have 5 bottles here, all the same, but it does make it a bit easier if they are the same kind of bottles. But we can do 2 different things with these bottles. As you can see, I have filled them with liquids. And if you pay close attention, they all have different levels of water. I've colored the water so you can see the different levels. This one is almost empty because it's a slightly different color. So 2 things you can do. First of all, again, going back to our science part of it, this will show us something about the vibration of sound. Again, you can experiment with this. So let's see first with blowing what happens. And this is the wind part of our lesson. So if I start with this bottle, is that sound. Then notice what is happening. We call it pitch. When the sound is changing, going up or down by steps is called pitch. And the next one, it's getting a little harder to blow. If you notice, my sound quality isn't as good. As you can see, the different levels give me different sounds. So the less the liquid, the lower the sound. If I get a bit more, it's a bit higher. And the most liquid is the highest. So it's hard to play a tune by myself, but if you had any family members, you guys could try and create like a song. You could do different things like that. However, another way to play it is by tapping these bottles. Again, you'll hear the sound will change. So I've got, actually, it's by pitch. This time though, you'll notice it's backwards. This was the lowest when I blew it. Now listen. This time it's going from highest to lowest. So it all is to do with the vibration of sounds. So with that, I have 5 notes. If you are able to recreate this, you can then play a little tune with 5 notes. See if you can guess what this tune is. If you guessed it, it's Mary Had a Little Lamb. How about we sing along? You can sing along and play. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Or how about this one? If you don't know that tune, you probably heard it somewhere, but it's actually from the composer Beethoven's famous Symphony No. 9, also sometimes known as Ode to Joy. So that's another one. So we can call this like a rainbow xylophone, because you're playing it like a xylophone now. So there is our lesson on rainbow xylophones and vibration of sounds varied by the amount of liquid in the bottles. For our last group of instruments, well, I only have 2 things, but for string family, it's a little bit trickier to come up with ideas. So I just created my own string instrument. Very simple. Anyone can do this. I just took a Kleenex box, as you can see, to make kind of like a guitar. So for those who know a guitar, the two things that you need to have obviously are strings, a body, or three things: body and some kind of like a sound hole, which is why this Kleenex box is perfect, because there's like a sound hole. And so what I've done is I have found rubber elastic bands. They're all different. You can again experiments to find different thicknesses of elastic bands will vary the sound, but also experiment with how you stretch it. So some are more stretched than others, and that also varies the sound. And then I just just to keep it off the box, to erase it a bit, because again, that's all part of the vibration of sound. I've just put 2 pens. So listen to the sound. It's a little bit quiet. This one's low, very low. So it's not very loud, but if you did this, it's kind of like a mini guitar. Have fun with it. You can do different things. And so that's our pretend guitar. And people love to do air guitar. I know that. You can rock out to your favorite songs with your air guitar. A lot of people do air guitar like this, but how about with a tennis racket? Do you ever think of that? You could use something. Doesn't it look kind of like a guitar? It has the strings. You could also use a hockey stick, and you could even attach some strings to it. Just some ideas for some string instruments. So that is our third group of instruments, our string family. Now we're going to put everything together that we've created this week and have a jam session like we did last time. This time we're going to use the song Happy. There we have the end of our second video. Goodbye till next time.